The Edmonton Oilers are hoping their pillows can wreck the slot machines and ring out 2 points tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. Hello and welcome to Pregaming. I am not Bordzy. My name is Michael Menzies, and this show is presented by Bet365. I'm your host as the nation vacation has infiltrated Sin City. They are geared up and ready to go, and we will hear from one Aaron Bordato in about 50 minutes' time, I would say. He's got some bets for us. They're cashing tickets in legitimate windows. The BBL is here, and for the first time, we will talk in front of microphones together. It is the editor of Oilersnation.com, the incomparable Zach Laing. Great to see you, my friend.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you. Yeah, super excited to be here. It's been a great couple of months working with you, and it felt like this has kind of been just a long time coming. And when we were having our production meeting, our weekly meeting on Monday afternoon, as soon as the option came up for me to pregame with you tonight, I was like, there's nothing else that I would rather do for an hour on Thursday night than hang out with you, my friend.
Well, I'm very pleased to hear that, and I'm sure many others are excited to see, as we did not coordinate, but we are wearing these same staff black T-shirt.
What's the old saying? Great minds think alike, or fools beg to differ? Something like that. One of those.
Yeah. I know that we're dressed a little bit better than our producer tonight, Brett Holden, who here on opening day is wearing a Los Angeles Dodgers jersey.
Wah. Hey, guys, sorry. Right around puck drop, it sounds like the World Series champions are going to be putting up their banner tonight. So,
really?
Not sure if we're going to be watching. I'll be watching it.
Yeah.
Might have to put that on. The champs kind of take, precedence.
I think you can stream that somewhere I don't have to see it.
A World Series champions, Shohei Ohtani, or shirt, I guess, and Cody Bellinger, rocking the Cody Bellinger.
You're also wearing a David Robinson era Spurs hat. Just for the folks at home.
Stole it from my dad. He was going to give it to my cousin. I said, that's a cool hat. And he said, all right, have it. Actually, my dad doesn't even know I took it.
The Admiral being represented here tonight. A vibe check here, checking in with the chat. Austin, he is a proud first commenter, typically here on Pregaming, says, boys are in Vegas, so it's up to you and the BBL Menzies. Fire up this fucking band, buddy. That feels weird. Hope will never die. Ingram is he. The Knights will bow down. Cup year.
Cup year.
There we go. Southpaw's in. Hope will never die. Let's go Oilers. Cup year. Cup year.
Cup year.
Vibes are high.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't take much for us Edmonton Oilers fans. I was doing O&E on Tuesday. I kind of noticed people were a little down on the Oilers after the end of the homestand. But then yesterday was an off day. The day before that, the last game, against the Utah Mammoth, we see this group of Edmonton Oilers that makes you think, hey, this is the type of team that can win games at the end of March, maybe into April, and maybe beyond if they play like this. So I think spirits are higher.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Well, I guess so. With this group, you really don't know, right?
No, you don't. You really don't. And listen, the playoffs are, as near of a lock as can be in the pillow fight Pacific here. But listen, the Oilers got work to do, right? And it feels like they're in this perpetual cycle where they'll have, a couple of good games, and they'll have like a really bad stinker, and then they'll have another game where it's like, come on, like where's the effort? And then they'll have a game, like they did earlier this week, and it's like, oh yeah, hey, the Oilers aren't that bad, right? Yeah. And then it's just this perpetual cycle that we are caught in here. But so are the Vegas Golden Knights. This is a Golden Knights team that looks nothing like they have in years past, seemingly refusing to seize the moment as much as the Edmonton Oilers are here, and just kind of plodding their way along to the Stanley Cup playoffs. So obviously critical game tonight, right? 2 points on the line. There's another game between Edmonton and Vegas, I believe, before the end of the season as well. So a couple of really important points on the line here for this Oilers club.
Big time. And we're going to break it all down for you here over the course of the next hour. I do want to pay some bills with Bet365, the home of the early the early pay when you get a 3-goal lead on your bet. They'll just pay you out. They say enough. We don't want to handle this anymore. So take advantage, and take advantage as well with Code Nation on Bet365. I'll tell you what. I was very lucky on Menzies' bankroll in the Utah game for a little McDavid 2-point action.
Yeah.
The empty netter, the meaningless, greasy empty netter with about 8 seconds left.
Don't ask how.
Was nice. That was pretty nice.
Hey, and
So
tonight I'm rocking with the big dance going on right now too.
Purdue, Texas. This game specifically right now is going on.
All the games tonight.
Yeah. Oh, you're involved.
Yeah. Oh, we're rocking. I've had a great March so far.
So Bordzy will join us with his bankroll, but there is a rumor going around that that Waz is up a lot of money.
I saw a photo on an Instagram story of Waz laying in a bed with a handful of bills.
This
A
is
large handful.
Where did you see this?
I don't know. I'll try and track it down here, as I also do my every pre-gaming reload on Bet365.
yeah.
The way that it always goes on these streets.
Lance, so Menzies will try to separate pre-gaming from Oilers Nation in order to keep Oilers Nation great. No. And then Aaron joins us and said, turn on the TV. And my wife said, OMG, is that the guy from Lakeland Connect? That's where I worked for a long time. Lakeland Connect travels, buddy. And so does the BBL. So good stuff. We're going to hear, and obviously the Nation Vacation has been going on, and these shows that are being done poolside in sunny cabanas, and you get to see your M-Chuck and swim trunks going down water slides and rider on stripper poles and everything else. And I'll admit, I've got a little FOMO. I've got a little FOMO right now.
A little bit.
A little bit.
I literally told Aaron to send me as many Snapchats as he could to give me FOMO, because I want to feel like I'm a part of it. I want to feel all the stuff, the behind the scenes stuff that's been going on. I just saw the picture that you sent me, Zach, of it. I don't know if I should
Hilarious.
show it, but it's so good.
Imagine,
so
if you will.
Yeah, a shirtless. Hey, Waz is getting ripped too.
He's looking chiseled.
Have you seen those? What are these?
Well, how can you
traps? Oh,
How can you avoid the pictures of Waz shirtless? This guy is flaunting it now, like he's
God, he's hot.
the Liver King.
I'm gonna give him a hug and maybe a little kiss on the cheek when he comes home.
Oh, I could. And then you had the Guy Fieri, wherever was poolside, as Waz is doing his dance there, wondering what the hell is going on.
That's always my favorite thing in like the clips that get posted from the trips, especially down in Vegas, is like the random people in the background who have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're just looking at it like, what am I watching right now?
I don't know. It's been interesting to follow here from home.
Never a dull
at the
moment.
very least. And they will return tomorrow and hopefully have a great time tonight as they're in the building for this Edmonton Oilers Vegas Golden Knights game. Let's get into what you need to know. Brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Tell you what, Trent and the gang, they take care of you because it's only the finest tasting meat products that earn the Wilhauk name. Made from 100% Alberta beef. It's aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size. Find their jerky, sausage, and other products out of their Leduc location, WilhaukBeefJerky.com. So, Oilers feeling good after their effort against the Utah Mammoth on Tuesday. I think a lot of people were very happy to see the stifling defensive game that they played. They didn't think it could be done, that Tristan Jarry could start a game and win one. It had been a long time since that happened. 24 blocked shots. A night that it feels like the Oilers need to cut and paste. A little Control X, Control V here to tonight. How are you feeling about this matchup?
I don't know how to feel, honestly, and that's kind of the way that it's been for a lot of Oilers games this season. You know, you wrote the column a couple of games ago that I can't remember what game it was exactly. It was just basically game 70 of 82 for the Edmonton Oilers this season. That's kind of the way it's felt for much of the season. So I've kind of gone into all of these games not knowing what to expect because it really feels like you don't know what to expect. Obviously, you want to see him come out and play well and have a strong performance and stuff like that. But you hope that especially in a game like this where there's a little bit more on the line, they really show up in a big way tonight. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here is a big performance from the Oilers because they're really going to need it here.
Yeah, this is obviously we know kind of what's on the line here tonight. I mean, there's only 1 point separating them in the standings. It's tight right now in the Pacific Division. We know it's almost now beaten to death, the pillow fight division, and those quotes are only still 4 or 5 days old now from Connor McDavid, but it has really been the tail of the tape here. And Vegas is not feeling great about their game. They've lost 4 of their last 5. The 1 win to Dallas of all the teams that they've played, they've been an enigma. The Oilers have been in an enigma. I don't know. What do you think here just about how both seasons for each team have just kind of mirrored each other a little bit?
Yeah, it really has, and it's quite different from years past, right? I mean, Vegas has kind of been a bit of a powerhouse in the Pacific Division for a number of years now. The Oilers have always found themselves right near the top of it and kind of fighting alongside Vegas for that top spot, unable to catch them. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get to Anaheim in the top spot in the Pacific here. They're having a really great season so far this year. But, it's been really interesting to see both of these teams kind of plodding along, It kind of feels like for both clubs, it's a bit of a reset year almost, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Edmonton Oilers, they let a lot of old guys go. They got rid of the gray beards that were left over, from the Ken Holland era here in Edmonton and brought in a lot of young talent. And I think we're starting to finally see some of those pieces really starting to turn it on. Look at a guy like Matt Savoy, right?
Yep.
How great has he been since the Olympic break, right? He's been tremendous. Vasily Podkolzin all of a sudden skates like Connor McDavid out of absolutely nowhere. I don't know what happened to him over the Olympic break, but keep it up, Bordzy. You got other young guys like Josh Szymanski, chiseling out a spot for himself in that bottom 6. Ty Emberson has looked good on the blue line. Spencer Stastny, a fine pickup, from back in December. Some of these young players are starting to kind of come along here. And it's been really encouraging to see that, right? And I think when we look at the big picture of this organization, it feels like they're in a good spot looking towards the future with these younger guys that are coming in. Vegas, on the other hand, they don't really have that same influx of young talent, right? It almost feels like, and this isn't necessarily the case, I don't think, but it feels like their Stanley Cup window is starting to shrink a little bit more and more each season here.
Yeah, I mean, that was talked about a little bit on O&E. What's weird about both teams, and as we'll get to a little bit later, is just their kind of advanced stats are, in one way, they should be a lot better than they are, but certain things are sinking them, and it seems to be similar things, whether it's been goaltending or other mishaps throughout the year. So it's an interesting night, obviously, in the division, but did we pull up the standings? One thing that's funny, and we know the BBL is very big, and I said it right before we went on air. The BBL is so big I cannot see our monitor. I don't know. Did we put up the standings? Kind of what it means tonight. So the Oilers are up 1 point on the Golden Knights here for second place, or home ice advantage if you want to look at it that way in a first round. Oilers really with a win tonight, like that gives them a little bit of breathing room, especially with what's coming ahead where the Oilers have the majority of their remaining games at home, Vegas, the majority of their games at home, and they play Vancouver twice. I saw, stuff like that where but very similar opponents, and both these teams have got it done against the Pacific, where the Oilers, what's kept them really afloat is an 11-5-2 record against the Pacific Division. And then Vegas, right in lockstep with them, where they're 10-5-4 against the Pacific. So each team has, buttered their bread this year on divisional opponents. And so I think that's what makes tonight's game interesting, where who's a pretender? Are they both sleeping giants? Or zig ya, zag ya one way. How,
It's the thing. Like, you don't really know what to expect from either of these teams, right?
Yeah.
The Oilers are up 2-0 on the season series heading into tonight, which is a great start for them, right? And that's encouraging in and of itself, right? Vegas is still one of the better teams in the Pacific. I think that's fair to say, right? They're a team that's going to make the playoffs just like the Oilers are here. So, it's kind of crunch time now, right? Like, this is when the games start to matter most. You got 10 left in the regular season, right? This is the time of year where you really need to see your team start to turn it on. And for the Oilers, thankfully, it's not too little too late for them, right?
Yep.
They've still got this runway, again, with the Pillow Fight Pacific being what it is here, to get some damage done ahead of the playoffs.
It was an interesting day of quotes I found. There was a couple interesting conversations today, and Connor Murphy has been paired with Darnell Nurse here for a little while.
That you and Darnell.
And easy. This quote is
Jump the gun. Jump the gun.
A little early. Be careful.
Premature.
Connor Murphy, I think a lot of Oiler fans have enjoyed what he has brought to this hockey team. I've enjoyed what he's brought. I think he's a little bit of that sandpaper, a little bit of that snarl that the Oilers at times miss in their normal decor that we've seen this season. I think Murphy has that veteran edge too and is excited to play some meaningful games. But, and I'll be first in line to say I've had my fair share of criticism for Darnell Nurse this season. Connor Murphy doesn't see it the same way. He said this about playing with Darnell Nurse.
What are you liking about the chemistry that you and Darnell are building together?
I think it's really nice. He's an easy guy to play with because we think similarly and wanting to be hard defenders, and he's a passionate leader that you can feel his intensity and his drive to win and be good for the team, and that is contagious as a partner to read off of. So I think it's been really fun to play with him, and honestly, all the guys on the left side have been cool to play with, just to know that they're all solid defensively, and specifically with him, just having some games to build that chemistry, it helps because in the heated parts of the games, you want to be able to have that natural instinct of knowing where a guy is to help defend, and then even to bump two off breakouts and clears and things.
Are those positive words about Darnell Nurse in the porches of my ears, to quote Hamlet's dad? Wow. Glowing words. Murphy, very complimentary of his partner Darnell Nurse. What have you made of this combination?
Yeah, it's been interesting to see them. 120 minutes at 5-on-5 so far. The one glaring issue, they've been outscored 4-1. Mm-hmm. That's the one issue that you kind of see with this pairing. But otherwise, they're pretty much break even. They're plus in terms of the shot share. When on the ice, 42-38 in their favor. Slightly down in scoring chances overall. The one thing that's really encouraging, they've really dominated in the high danger areas. 20-15 in favor of the Oilers when Murphy and Nurse are out there on the ice. So, 57% high danger scoring chance share. That's great to see. Biggest issue for them, I think, is kind of just the fact that they've had some really hard matchups, right?
Yep.
That's kind of the way that Paul Coffey is using this duo. So, when I kind of look at these numbers, I still see a small sample size here of these two guys kind of playing together. But the numbers, for Murphy with Nurse are significantly better than they were with him and Wallman. So it seems like the Oilers might have something here with this Murphy-Nurse duo. I like the way that they've looked.
Well, and not only that, but then it sets up a scenario where you got Jake Wallman playing with Ty Emberson, and they've been steady together. There's a quiet going on when they're out on the ice, or dare I say, a positive play like we saw with Wallman rushing up the ice with the puck, and that creates a 1-1 goal, tying goal against the Mammoth in the first period Tuesday. So the quieter the better for Wallman as he gets his game on track. And then I know there's been some buzz here that Emberson could maybe push up into the second pair. I'm not there yet. I think let's keep Emberson where he is and let him succeed in that role and solidify things, and we don't have to get monkeying around with the D pairs like maybe we do with the forward lines all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we need to see some consistency here. And I think there's one thing that we've seen, in Chris Knoblauch's tenure is that the blue line largely gets stretches of games together, right? We don't really see it so much with the forward group. And, of course, there's things that happen, injuries, inconsistent play, guys up, guys down. It all, plays into the forward groupings here. But I have liked that Emberson-Wallman duo together. You mentioned the the play in the Utah game there. Even smaller sample size of minutes for these guys, so take it with a bit of a grain of salt. But in 30 minutes, they've outscored the opposition 2-1 and have controlled 65% of the expected goal share on the ice. That's really promising to see. Again, small sample size, but I like the way this top six looks heading into the playoffs. You know, it's pretty clear that the Oilers have felt comfortable with what Ty Emberson has done because of the fact that they didn't go out and acquire two defensemen at the trade deadline, right? You know, like they did last year. And obviously, you know, John Klingberg came a little bit before, or quite a bit before the deadline in January, but you saw Emberson bumped out after that first round of the playoffs in favor of Klingberg. You know, I don't think Stastny is going to be usurping his spot there on that number 6 spot on the right side there. So I like the way this blue line is looking. And listen, at the end of the day, it also allows Matthias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard to stay together. And look, we all know how good these two guys have been together. You know, since the trade deadline, they've been continuing to just be awesome, outscoring the opposition at 9-4. In their 147 minutes of 5-on-5 time.
Pretty good. The Southpaw said both Murphy there and Wallman talked up Nurse's leadership / game recently over the past week. Let's pull up the home team lineup here. Okay, let's give it 1 second.
D pairings for some.
Very interesting. Okay, because unless Chris Nomlak is a fibber, he told us there'd be no lineup changes except for Connor Ingram back between the pipes. Now, we just talked about the thing about Nurse. I will say, approaching the Mammoth game, I had a nervous energy that I haven't had all season long because we spent an hour creating one of the more ridiculous skits of recent memory that I can think of that had a seance type of, spiritual implications. And Jarek got it done, at least for a victory. But when that double pinball thing happened, I got a little nervous. Now, Darnell Nurse, if Nurse were to give Peyton a stick, maybe we could perform similar seances and get his game with the puck going a little bit, but at the very least, we see it there. So the Oilers' home team lineup here. Let's take a look at the lines. So we saw a lot of success here with the groupings. I think a lot of people liked that Savoy was back at it with McDavid. We saw Hyman, I think, work together well with Nugent Hopkins and Roslovic. And now, I think for most people, they just want to see the lines stay the same, and that is our indication here that these lines will remain the same tonight. Did you want to see the blender come out again, Zachary?
I've seen enough. I've seen enough of it. I've been complaining about it for some time here. And listen, I like the way that this lineup looks right now. It was a really good game for all four of these lines, right? And I really do think that this is a lineup we could see together, heading into the playoffs. I like Podkolzin up there on that top line. Him and Savoy, again, have looked really good coming out of the Olympic break. You know, you're getting some offense from both of those guys too, right? Which is great to see. Obviously playing up there along with, Connor McDavid. Anybody's going to be able to generate some kind of offense, but both of these guys have been able to score away from McDavid so far this season. They're able to do so here still. You know, the second line, Roslovic, what a performance from him against Utah, right? 2-goal game. That was huge for him. You know, his 5-on-5 scoring this season has been a huge addition to this Edmonton Oilers team. He's been everything that they hoped for on just such a dirt cheap contract. It's really worked out well there. You know, the third line, solid too. Dickinson, Szymanski, Kapanen. I love these three guys. And that fourth line, you got Maximum Jones down there. Love him as a player. Great energy guy. Want to see some more from Rico. I think once the Oilers get a little bit healthy, I wonder about him heading into the playoffs, maybe getting bumped out for Szymanski up the middle. But, still 10 games left to kind of figure that all out.
Home team lineup brought to you by Oodle Noodle, of course. Download the app today to earn loyalty rewards points and take advantage of their many deals. As you know, send nudes to loved ones. The blender, I only want to see a blender for margaritas, says Buff.
Well said.
Fair enough. And someone who has maybe been enjoying a few margaritas here down in Las Vegas, Sin City, is one Aaron Bordado. Aaron!
What up,
Boards!
I have had several slush beverages in the last couple days. It's 36 degrees out, boys. I am leaking right now wearing this jersey. This is it's tough. You don't want to see what's underneath here, but we got T-Mobile. We got some Oilers fans. The orange and blue is represented very, very well, boys. How we doing back home?
Well, it sounds like it's a party. I'll put it that way. It sounds like you're in the middle of a rave or something, but you're just outside the barn. And what are the vibes like? How are Oiler fans feeling on the trip here?
So Oilers fans, incredibly hyped up, incredibly optimistic. I mean, that's just part of the nation vacation. And my favorite part of them always is this walk when we get off the bus and we just start walking to T-Mobile. And you can see it on socials right now, seeing Oilers fans, the Let's Go Oilers fans going nuts. And then you get to the sports book and all you see is orange and blue, betting Oilers money line over and over. We got to win the kit. We got positive vibes. Should be a good one. I'm nervous, but it should be good.
Well, I think there's right to have some nerves for this game. I mean, look, the Oilers played well Tuesday. That was enjoyable. We know they've got this edition of a low event game. But at the same point, trusting them for any length of time has been difficult this year. So I do think it makes sense, but just how do you see this playing out? What do you think of Vegas and where they're at right now? And maybe you can sneak into the dressing room and see what's going on there too.
Well, I'll let you know, I did see Matt Savoy, Roby Jarventia, and Josh Szymanski last night on a casino floor. Shout out to them. Hopefully they won.
Whoa.
Big. What I want to see.
Are you
is
telling
over
tales
6.5
out of school
goals.
here? Are you saying things you shouldn't be saying about where they were and what
there.
they were doing?
They were there. They were there. I saw them. I didn't talk to them. Anyone could have seen them. And I think that's a good omen. But also, shout out Jarventia and Szymanski making NHL money. You enjoy your day in Vegas. You need to enjoy your day in Vegas. Now, for what I want to see, what I saw on Tuesday night was an incredibly defensively focused hockey team, too. They had more blocks than the Vegas Gold, or not the Golden Knights, the Mammoth had shot the game. So I want more defense. And against this Vegas team, it feels like there might be a round one matchup brewing. Who knows? Maybe we'll come back here for a playoff nation vacation. They're struggling right now. Their goaltending, I'll say it, shit. So much so, I'm in the fantasy semifinals. I benched Adin Hill tonight. I don't have anyone replacing him. Solidarity. I am benching his ass, and we're going to chase him tonight. But what I want to see is defense from the Edmonton. What up, boys? Say hi. Say hi.
Here we go.
So many Oilers fans around, dude. It's insane.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
You? What's up, buddy? Thanks, buddy. I'm on the show. I
This is so good.
Wow.
He wants to hang. He wants to party. Now, what else I can say? We had a great time down at the Golden Nugget. They did us good. They did us good for the last couple days. And you know what did Matthew Wozniak pretty good? It's literally, I don't want to hear from anybody else. Woz is the hottest gambler I think I've ever seen with my own two eyes. It's crazy what he's doing. I'm walking through. We were in the casino floor, me, him, and James, just walking around, and I'm not exaggerating. He looks over, sees the Buffalo slot machine that everybody knows, stops in his tracks, basically hits the ground and just shoots. He looks there, screams, Buffalo! And once over the spot, and instantly won $350. I then left him. He won another $600 on something else, and I didn't necessarily. Exchange rate when you're in the casino, right? Like, they're not honoring the Canadian dollar properly, and the fees are insane. Ross has so much cash, you can see it on the Instagram story, that our team players, Dave Downton, needed to take a loan out from the Bank of Wall. So did Tyler, so did BM. Everybody just going to Dad Wall for money, and it's truly incredible what we're seeing. It's the once in a lifetime Vegas trip to Wall.
Wazzy might be the hottest guy in Vegas right now, and it's unbelievable. I can't believe it.
And not even just from a money standpoint either.
Yeah, like he's hot. I might have to give him a kiss and let him know that his traps look fucking hot right now.
Now, the first video we posted today was just him cool going like,
Yeah, we
whatever.
saw this
I was
one.
like,
Yeah.
you want to post third press, you do that on your own time, goddammit. But it should get views, let's get numbers. And he's truly the MVP of the strip. I'm honored that I get a room with him, and a little disappointed we didn't get one from Beckett. Sad.
Well, I mean, he won an amount of money that he could have quite the visitor tonight if things really got good. But look, hey, Bordzy, you're here. I was going to create a new segment here, a new game, okay? It's called What's Higher? Okay, you ready for this? I'm going to give you you just have to guess which one you think is higher. Okay. Very exciting here. I got to scroll to where it is. 1 second. New segment. What is higher? Here we go. What's higher? Vegas's goals per 60, 5-on-5 in their last 10 games, or Edmonton gas prices?
Oh,
What is higher?
I know that Vegas is on clear in the last 10, and I heard gas got up to like 170 right now. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say gas price is higher than the Golden Knights.
What do you think, Zach?
yeah. I'm gonna say gas prices too, solely to be able to make fun of the gas prices in Edmonton.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I baited you into it. It's the gas prices. You're getting abused at the pumps. And the Golden Knights are getting abused by opponent goaltenders here. 1.56 for the Golden Knights. And I saw some 1.67s today on the pumps. And that was the cheapest ones I saw.
Over? You didn't tell me this before I bet the over?
Well, this...
Hey, life's too short to bet the underboards. You know this.
Yeah.
You know who bet the under today at the casino? Tyler Eureka. To be bet the under? Nerd, dork.
But you know me,
We did bankroll?
Oh, go ahead.
Can we do the bankroll in this one?
Well, yeah, let's do the
We're
bankroll.
talking bet.
Let's do the bankroll. Bordzy's bankroll presented by Bet365, home of the early payout, 3-goal lead. And it's a win, as well as for the basketball stuff, which honestly is ridiculous. So very good. Obviously, money to be had with Waz. People should tell Waz whatever he's doing. But Bordzy, maybe you've consulted with him. What do you have prepared?
So I got here on the screen. You see it? One ball, boys. This is the exact same bankroll on Tuesday night. That went 3 for 3. It starts off with the birthday, boys. Connor Day, 2.4 at minus 130. I mean, I can't use the L word. But we can cheat code on Bet365. Next one, Connor McDavid at 2 points in Vegas. It's not over to here. He's not going to do me wrong. And then it's Bruce, baby. I think he's hit 3+ shots in 4 straight games. So we're going to ride with that. I didn't look at what was his total on Bet365, but I did place them in the casino. I've got physical tickets, and there's nothing more satisfying than going to the cashier at the casino with fellow winners, just bragging and verbally, I don't have another way to say it, verbally sucking each other off. It's a good time.
Gamble responsibly, of course. 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, that's great. It's good to hear that you're having fun. Anything else for Bordzy here? Anything else we want to say? Because I'll be honest, the sensory overload going on, I can only imagine what it's like for you right now here at in the eye of the hurricane.
Imagine the 12 drinks I had today on top of that. We're living, we're vibing. All I want to say, chat, you guys are the best, and shout out to Menzies and Zach for holding it down for us, including Pat, Bob, Liam, everybody this week. It's been a team effort for all of them. Go out, play in the sun, have a good time, represent the Oilers and Blues. So it takes a village, and I appreciate you boys. Also, producer Brett, and I will be back for Oilersnation'S after dark. My question to you right now: how has my connection been, and how can you hear me?
The connection has been great. There is so much. Hey, I loved hearing Kevin Rudolph I'll tell you that much. And because when I'm alive, I bring the fire.
The audio bleed has been interesting here, but
we've heard you.
But we understand it, and it's a very exciting time. So we'll let you go.
It's okay, Bordzy, because as we know from last year, when the Oilers get a win tonight, it gets pretty quiet out there, unless you're around Oilers fans. So we'll see you after dark in a pretty quiet.
I'm shocked. Fred, I'm shocked you still remember post game after last year. So that's good to know.
I wasn't
Boys,
there.
I'll join you on ONAD in a bit. Good luck. Over and out. I love you all, and I'll see you in a couple hours. Hopefully, with a lot more of this in my wallet. So good luck. Thanks for holding it down. We'll talk in a bit.
Have fun. Be safe. That's Bordzy.
What a scene. What a scene down there on the streets of Vegas.
Yeah, Amanda says the overstimulation is real. We had to lock in, we had to dial in to understand what was being said.
I almost started singing when I heard Kevin, because we played that as one of our pre-show songs.
Yes,
I almost broke out. It was great though. As someone, I was down there last year. I think, apparently, as I've been told. Allegedly, I've been told. But it's an unbelievable atmosphere out there. But once you get out there, there's a lot of oil and blue.
Yeah. Well, they know. I mean, look at it. We just had a dump of snow again, and it's 35 degrees.
I was going to ask Bordzy if he could bring a little bit of that warmth back, because, when I was leaving my place today, I didn't put a jacket on or anything like that. I just went with a sweater and stepped outside, and I was like, ooh, it's a little chilly. That I got into the car, and it said -2, and it looked like it was like a nice +2 or +4 today.
No.
Not the case.
Not the case. No, it's we
won't mention what the weather is down in Vegas, because we just don't need to do that.
It's hot. But the hockey team there, not so hot as of late, as we sort of strap back into numbers. Their advanced metrics make no sense, really. No team has trailed more this National Hockey League season than the Vegas Golden Knights. They have trailed more than even the Vancouver Canucks. They can't score lately. They can't get a save. And yet, when you look at the fancies, it's crazy. In the last 10 games, of which they've only won a few of those, they are third in expected goal share, 5-on-5. But then 29th in actual. They have the worst goals per 60, and they're struggling getting saves. Adin Hill with the dubious feat of a 0 save percentage the other night. 3 goals on 3 shots. But this team, they've got a lot of guys, so you don't know. Is this just a sleeping giant? Is this the best time to catch them? Or the sight of the Oilers jerseys going to make them come alive? What catches you when you look at this Vegas team? What's going on with them right now?
I think the goaltending is definitely an issue too, but it's not like they're scoring a whole lot either, right? I mean, just on the season, a 10.9 shooting percentage in all situations. That doesn't really feel like the Vegas that we've seen over the last couple of years here. And, I think the Golden Knights kind of are what they are, right? I mean, they're a team who is struggling in many facets of the game. I don't know how much they're loving the Rasmus Anderson trade, because he hasn't been great for the Golden Knights since he arrived. But again, like I said earlier too, this is a game that not only the Oilers are going to get up for, but Vegas is too, right? They know the fact that they're down 0-2 to the Oilers on the season and what's coming down the wire here in these final 10 games of the campaign. So I'm expecting a big, intense playoff-style feeling game tonight between these two teams.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that dissimilar to what we saw a couple weeks ago, back in that March 8th game where, the Oilers played well, also got a couple bounces in that game that really went their way with a broken stick and different stuff. We saw a fourth-line goal in that game for the Oilers. Problem is no Doc, no Frederick. For the Oilers, they've been operating with a different lineup as their injuries have caught up to them. You saw it there a moment ago. Vegas 32, 26, and 14 on the season. Do we have Vegas lines? Do we have updated lines? Let's take a look at the away team lineup and remind you that it is GMC Truck Month. That's right, it's Truck Month, and that means it's your opportunity to get into a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Grow Crap Pro Graphite Crew Cab and 0% financing for 72 months, aka 6 years. That's a 2-inch factory lift you're getting with off-road suspension, a powerful 5.3-liter V8 engine, and a commanding presence that demands attention. Hurry in, Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab. See it in person. Take advantage of Truck Month before it ends. There you go. Let's see that away team lineup here with the Vegas Golden Knights. So, Jack Eichel obviously leads the way. He's been struggling lately, though, pointless in his last 6 hockey games, and you're going to see Mark Stone in there too. Stone, remember, he was put on IR right around the trade deadline, and we were all
Here we go again.
joking that it was that time of year. Well, he's been back in the lineup for the last handful, but hasn't really made a dent there. They've been playing Mitch Marner a little bit more away from the likes of from Jack Eichel. Marner historically has played very well against the Edmonton Oilers. In fact, when you look at his career numbers, I had them and now they're gone. He's over a point a game. In his career against the Oilers. He's been very good historically, but this team overall 5-9 in the month of March. Thomas Hertl there in the third line. Kind of, his season is kind of gone just as Vegas's is gone. When he plays well, it seems like the Golden Knights are really on. When he's not, he's not. We know the likes of Keegan Colasar too, how often he mixes it up. Probably with Darnell Nurse. That's an often pair. And this fourth line that was redone at the trade deadline, getting the likes of Cole Smith and Nick Dowd, I believe, have 1 assist combined since they were acquired. This forward group, if it's not Dorofeyev lately scoring, who is it going to be?
Yeah, pretty much. You mentioned Mitch Marner and his success against the Oilers in his career. 10 goals and 32 points in 25 games played. He's been really good against the Edmonton Oilers. So has Jack Eichel, who in his own right, 9 goals and 22 points in 21 games. All regular season there. But, for the Golden Knights, it's kind of this top 6 is kind of just plodding along offensively. They're not overly dangerous or anything like that. This second line, it feels like they're a more dangerous offensive line. But, when you look at the numbers for this top line for the Golden Knights, the defensive metrics for them have been really solid. That's kind of been a big thing for them with Mark Stone and Ivan Barbashev up there. So it's going to be an interesting game tonight. Expecting big on big here with the Eichel line up against the McDavid line. We'll see the Marner line largely going up against that Nugent-Hopkins line there for Edmonton. So it's going to be an interesting one to say the very least here tonight because, they're still a stingy team, right? They can still shut things down defensively. The biggest issue has kind of just been really getting that offense going.
Yeah, and obviously they're deep pairings. They kind of separate their 3 big blue liners and Chase Theodore, Noah Hannafin, and Rasmus Anderson, who all command their own pair. So it'll be interesting to see. If you're wondering about Darnell Nurse, relax. He's playing tonight, says Nicole. Thank you.
Oh, really?
He's in.
Oh, I was questioning that.
He's in the lineup. Oh. Is this guy on the left trying to recreate his Knobloch TikTok? LOL. You believe me, you'll know if I am. Is he trying to? I'm not quite sure. But you'll know when it happens. Some other relevant Oiler things to know. Connor Ingram gets back in. Do we have the goalie head-to-head? Do we have a graphic for that? It's rare I'm in this chair. I have to ask the obvious questions. So let's take a look at the goaltending matchup tonight. Because Ingram gets the game off there against Tuesday. They're on Tuesday against the Mammoth. 5 consecutive starts before then. Jari gets the win. There were maybe some murmurs or some corners saying, well, do you stick with Jari? They go back with Ingram tonight, and then you see Adin Hill and the ghastly save percentage that he's had. And, the Oilers and Golden Knights have been near the bottom of the league in 5-on-5 save percentage all year long. Vegas has arguably had bigger goaltending problems than the Oilers this year. These are the 2 we're getting tonight. Any surprises, you think?
No surprises in who's kind of starting here. It's been a rough season for Adin Hill. 23 games played, just 9 wins on the year, just 7 quality starts. It's a 30% quality start percentage. Obviously, the struggles have been real for him. According to Evolving Hockey, negative 6.8 goals saved above expected on the season. Not very good. He's also struggled in the regular season for the most part against the Oilers. 10 games played against the Oilers in his career, 3 wins, a shutout, 283 goals against average, and an 891 save percentage. Connor Ingram, meanwhile, he's been pretty good for the Oilers. I think we can all agree that we're liking what we're seeing from him. Just an 890 on the season, nothing special or anything like that, but a 59% quality start percentage. And that's the big thing for me, right? He's giving you more good games than he is bad games. And that's what I've really liked from Ingram this season. It's felt really consistent with him. Just 1 goal saved above expected on the season, which is fine. It's a bit positive. In his career, 5 starts, 5 games played against the Golden Knights, 3 wins, a shutout, 283 goals against average as well, but a 909 save percentage. If he can give that to the Edmonton Oilers tonight, could be in a pretty good place by the end of the night.
Our fearless leader, Jay Downton, mentioned on O&E today a good point. And it's something that the Edmonton Oilers really used to their advantage in the playoff series last year. Get into Adin Hill's head. You can do that so damn easily. You saw what happened with Evander Kane last year.
That's a good point.
Adin Hill went after him at one point. It was electric. It was great. And the Oilers went on to win that hockey game. And it just was really not the same since then. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the game after the Oilers lost with 0.1 seconds left. And then
Yeah, I think it would have been game 4.
I believe so, yeah. And then again, that series just was not the same since. So I think the Edmonton Oilers can kind of, if these two teams face off against each other in the playoffs, kind of get a head start here and into the head of Adin Hill.
Well, it could be a collision course. Certainly, Ingram has played both the games against Vegas this year for the Oilers. 2-0 in those, 2.50 goals against average, 812 save percentage head-to-head against the Golden Knights. So, some Oilers notes here. Obviously, some milestones achieved by Connor McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins there on Tuesday night, where McDavid now 1,200 points in the inning. That's a whole career it usually takes to get that number. Not McDavid. And again, another category with him is the only 2 others are Gretzky and Lemieux and X amount of time. They were pretty good too. And McDavid 2 points, or in 2 games against Vegas, 5 points total, and 34 points in 25 career games. There, Nuge has done well against Vegas as well. 2 goals to lead the Oilers this season head to head, and he got that 800th point. I think, for the Oilers here down the home stretch, Nugent-Hopkins being part of a line that isn't riding shotgun with Connor McDavid probably bodes the best for the Oilers with Savoy and his speed that we've seen playing on the wing and that playmaking ability. And then when you've got a tandem that's quarterbacked by Evan Bouchard, like they create on that shorthanded goal, Bouchard 3 assists against Utah, and is knocking on the door of a 20-goal season as well. So some of the big boys, have really came to play so far this week against Utah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the mention of Nugent-Hopkins too. I remember towards the end of last season, when McDavid and Draisaitl have been missing time, Nugent-Hopkins was talking about how much he loves to play up the middle of the ice. He's a natural center, right? And I think sometimes we forget that with him being as efficient as he's been on Connor McDavid's wing. And they haven't necessarily had the necessity to go with that sort of spine look as they have in years past. But, I also wonder, what does the lineup look like when Leon Draisaitl does return and get healthy? Do they decide to keep Nugent-Hopkins up the middle? Because it looks like he's got a little bit of chemistry there, with Jack Roslovic. Obviously, playing with Hyman a lot the way that he has over the years has certainly looked good there. But, yeah, it'll be something that'll be interesting to kind of follow here. But I feel good about the way this lineup kind of shapes up here for sure. I like what we're seeing.
Yeah, let's see the Oilers lines just one more time to regale us of what's going on, because Hyman had come, unparted, I guess, from Connor McDavid and sliding down to play with Nugent-Hopkins and Jack Roslovic as of late. And then we saw Savoy and Podkolzin go back up. I think they have a third line brewing, although I'd like to see Szymanski probably play center. That's where I think he's best featured. But I also kind of think they're not putting Szymanski on fourth line center because they don't want Szymanski and Dreventi both on the same line, is my guess.
And I can get behind that for sure, especially with the identity the Oilers want to have from that fourth line. But, Jarventi and Szymanski have played a lot together down in Bakersfield this season on the top line of the Condors. So you might be able to find some sneaky offensive upside with them having some chemistry already developed. But I can't argue with the way that this third line and fourth line have looked for sure.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
It's coming. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it's gone.
It's gone. Well, Szymanski will play on the left wing again tonight, and I've really liked what I've seen from Szymanski, and just his defensive awareness, and he's a responsible player on the ice. And I think as he gets more comfortable, that's going to be a part of his game that grows as the offensive side, playing with Dickinson and Kapanen. I didn't care for Kapanen's game so much there against the Mammoth. I thought he was trying to force it a little bit. He's maybe been playing sick. A note about Hamblin. Hamblin was emergency recalled and then sent back down yesterday. So just in case. And we will see Curtis Lazar probably back, next week. Maybe the Kraken game on Tuesday. Let's see the schedule if we can in a moment, because this is just a 2-game roadie here for the Edmonton Oilers, and some divisional games coming here down the pipe. Most of their schedule is going to be divisional down the stretch. You got Anaheim that's on this West Coast trip, and they're in Calgary tonight. But here's what lies ahead for the Oilers here to close out, as you got Vegas tonight, obviously, Anaheim in a matinee spot, and then Seattle to close out the month. But a 4-game homestand after this one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an important homestand, right? Because on the back half of it, you got Chicago next Thursday, and then Vegas at home the following Saturday in the usual 8 o'clock late slot. So it's going to be an important game. Tonight, coming up here on Saturday against Anaheim, we all know the struggles the Oilers have had in matinee games, and they don't really have the ability to drop one of those right now. 2 left this season as well, because on April 11th, they're on the road visiting the LA Kings for an old 2 p.m. Mountain Time puck drop. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But this Anaheim team has been good. They've given the Oilers some fits this season as well. Seattle, they're an interesting team too. They've really kind of fallen off this back half here. Their goaltending has kind of fallen apart. Philip Grubauer and Joey Daccord after a really solid start to the season, and good run for most of the season here for those guys. But Seattle kind of falling out of the playoff picture here.
I was doing some channel surfing Tuesday before the game, and I watched a lot of Ottawa and Detroit, but then I flipped on some third period Seattle, Florida, and Florida just made it expanded their lead. They made a multi-goal lead, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not watching any of this. It made it 4-1. Then Seattle came back. They scored 3, and they scrape a point out of there just as the LA Kings keep scraping points out of it and just keeping themselves somewhat in the mix. But
Bobby McMahon has been great. 6 games played since he was acquired there. 5 goals and 7 points. He's been really good playing up there on that top line, kind of giving them some offense that they've really, really needed.
Should have been an Oiler.
Should have been.
Still can be. Still can happen. Who knows? I think the cap, Daryl Cates is going to make some special deals to get everybody.
Get some local brand deals with them.
Oh, yeah. Baddocks, I think, might. They could throw that. I don't know, free shout-outs. In case you're interested in the relevant games tonight, Anaheim play in Calgary. Kings play the Canucks. If you like disgracing your eyeballs, you can watch that one. Or Kraken Lightning, I think they've been playing. It's probably in the second or third period already there. So lots of hockey left, as Lance says. We know this.
3-3 in that game with 9 minutes left.
Really? Yeah. 3-3.
Anaheim, Calgary just getting underway as well.
Calgary, hot. They won 4 in a row.
They don't call them the Flames for nothing.
4 in a row.
I love it, man. I love it. Win a bunch of games down the stretch. That's what I want to see. There's no team that loves the mushy middle or just being on the outside of a playoff spot more than the Calgary Flames do. I hope that they win a bunch of games and ruin their chances at a top draft pick.
Well, maybe they didn't realize that the 84-game season is next year, and so they're running out of runway here. But nevertheless, I think it's time for my favorite part of the show, the part of the show where we try to win some money. It's the wheel, which has been a money printing machine as of late. I need to pull up the relevant applications, aka Bet365. So they spun the wheel on Tuesday. Savoy cashed for an anytime. We will spin it twice for the first goal scorer and then an anytime goal scorer. It's been a lot of fun, Brett. It's been a lot of fun.
So for the last 5 minutes on this show, just for a little view behind the scenes, I've been filling out this wheel, and the number, you can see this number kind of up here by entries. That's how many skaters are playing. And I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Finally, I have 18 there, whatever. And then I go, why is that the number? And I have just spent the last 5 minutes trying to figure out what went wrong.
Oh, no.
Had Evan Bouchard twice.
Classic.
But we figured it out.
The wheel was had some bias.
I was
to
sweating
it.
a little bit.
Interesting. Okay, well, since you did all that hard work, give it a shuffle.
Thank
Give it a shuffle. This is for the first goal scorer tonight. Let's see what the wheel has to say. Brett, please spin the wheel. Here we go. Here we go. Come on.
No fucking way.
They've been giving us some hard to say, hey, first career goal tonight for Roby?
Come on.
Plus 5,000.
I mean,
5,000.
Hey,
I could do it. I could do it.
you know,
behind
you
it.
don't have to. You can put half a unit on that, and you're doing fine. Plus 950 for the anytime. Again, I like to cover my bases because we've seen that twice. Jones was the first goal scorer, bet him anytime he got it, and then Szymanski as well against the Lightning. So, hey, the wheel is just, the wheel is fair. We will remove Roby from the wheel.
Removed. Give me a quick shuffle.
There we go.
And give me that cue, baby.
Okay, Brett, please spin the wheel. Here we go. It's for an anytime goal scorer tonight. Anytime you like. Oh, very interesting.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
Plus 1,100.
I'm behind it.
Oh,
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
This could be. This
Could
could
be
be an
huge.
interesting game.
Yeah.
This could be a very interesting game that we talk about for a long time. If this is the way that this game goes, if we're being completely honest.
Well, I'm taking them both for first and both for any time because to cover my bases.
I'm
here.
doing that too.
The wheel has put us up. We're up with the wheel. So you got to play. That's the way it goes. And play responsibly. You got to play. So there you go. Okay, I'm fired up. We are a couple minutes away here from puck drop. Score predictions. Any other anytime goal scorers tonight? Zach Laing, are you going to break our hearts or what do you think?
Yeah, let's give me a 5-2 Edmonton Oilers win tonight.
Okay.
And we're going to go with a Matt Savoy anytime stay hot kid.
Yeah, the anytime 5-2, cut and paste, as you say, after a 5-2 win against the Mammoth.
I like it. I think it's going to be a bit of slaughter with the nation vacation going on. I'm going 7-2 Oil, and we'll go Connor Murphy. Anytime goal. Let's go, baby.
Love it. Menzies?
Twice in the last 10 games they've played, the score has been 1-0.
No!
And it will be for a third time.
Don't you put that evil on me, Dewey Cox.
1-0. Brew a pot of coffee. Not a lot's going to happen tonight. It's going to be a rock fight down at T-Mobile. 1-0 Oil. That's what I'm going to say. Am I wish casting? Yes. But I'm not really because I wouldn't mind seeing a more entertaining game. But nevertheless, score predictions, we've seen a lot. 6-1 Oil Savoy. They're like 5-1 as well. Look, and I'll just take a Roby Gerventia first goal, and that's it. Stop the clocks.
Stop the count. That's enough.
But the Oilers and Golden Knights have played a lot of these rock fight type games here recently, and obviously the Oilers have won, I think, 4 in a row and 8 of their last 9 head-to-head against this team. Very good. It's been very fun. We're excited to see Bordzy and others on the nation vacation take over Vegas. It's a cup year.
Cup year.
We're fired up. I will be joined by Liam for After Dark. I want to thank Zach for coming here for pre-gaming. This was fun.
My pleasure. It was an absolute pleasure.
It was good. It was good. Hopefully the game provides for us tonight. Thanks so much to our producer, Brett Holden, and Tristan Battle, our intern, for making sure the internet worked here today, of which it's a whole another story. We will join you after the conclusion of this one. This has been Pre-Gaming presented by Bet365. I'm Michael Menzies. Oil up.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.